Welcome back guys to my weekly countdown series. Today's going to be a bit of a fun episode. It's going to be 10 things that noobs do in GTA Online. If any of you guys watching this actually do these things, you are a noob. As always, don't forget to leave a like on the video, it really helps support this series. Subscribe if you're new, and let's get right into this. So up first are barcode names. Now if you don't know what a barcode name is, it's basically when your name only includes I's and L's, so your name essentially looks like a barcode. If you have a few of these players in your lobby, then it's really difficult to know which one is which, so it can make it a lot more difficult for you if you want to block or ignore one of them. I actually have a few friends that have barcode names on their second accounts and they like to be a little more anonymous when they're playing online. But I feel like the only real reason to have a barcode name is if you want to avoid being reported for doing newbie things. Next up is suiciding in PvP battles. Now there's some players in GT Online that hate being killed by other players, so whenever they get low health, they'll just kill themselves in the interaction menu. I think the main reason for these players doing this is just to protect their own KD ratio by killing themselves, because that doesn't actually count as a death for that. But yeah, it's just really annoying when you're having a firefight with somebody and, you know, they're able to kill you, but when you try and kill them, they'll just keep killing themselves when they get low health, so you're not able to actually ever kill them. But yeah, seriously, who checks their KD ratio on GTA anyways? Up next is when people go AFK in missions. So when Rockstar are running double cash and RP weeks, I usually like to hop on and play some of the missions in the game, or play some of the featured adversary mode just to make some money. And there's usually always a few of these guys that go AFK in these game modes and expect everybody else in the game to carry them. Usually you can recognize these guys because they'll sit in the spawn point of the game and just spin around because they're probably using an elastic band on their controller to avoid being kicked. Now I get that these guys just want to make a bit of money in the game, but quite often it ends up screwing over everybody else in the game who actually wants to play the game modes, because you know, if you're in a team-based adversary mode and have one or two AFK kids spinning around in the spawn, it's going to put your team a huge advantage in that game, and it just means that everybody that wants to play that mode has less of a chance of winning because they have a few teammates on their team that aren't even playing, so it slows down everybody else's money-making method. Up next is being constantly run over. Now I quite often find myself in public free roam lobbies in GT Online. I'll be just minding my business, attending to my supplies, doing daily challenges, or even just sort of filming clips for videos. And it's a very common occurrence, I'll get another random player come up to me in their car and just run me over. And there's almost absolutely nothing you can do about this situation because your character will get up so slowly, you know, that kind of slow motion animation of your character getting up, and this random player will just keep on knocking you over, running you over, and knocking you into walls until you die. Let me know in the comments if you guys encounter this one because I find it very annoying. At the number 6 spot is Freeroam Tryhards. Now the amazing thing about the Freeroam Tryhards in online is they all try to look the same. You can pretty much recognize them by their avatar picture. Pretty much every lobby that you'll go into in the game will at least have one of these specimens with the helmet, they'll have the rebreather, usually they'll have face paint on, and their favourite weapons can include assault shotguns and marksman rifles. The tryhards are also known to use bull shark testosterone, which basically makes the marksman rifle a one-hit kill and can be very annoying to defend yourself against because the marksman rifle can just spam sniper shots at you, and using the BST will get a one-hit kill on you, and honestly it just feels like a bit of a cheap tactic. Next up is trying to play heists. Now, I'm sorry, but if you're a noob, you really shouldn't be searching for heists. I've had this a few times when I've maybe needed one more person for a full heist squad and I have no other choice but to matchmake and try and find a random player that I think would be able to actually beat the finale of a heist. And quite often, sometimes you get rank 1s or 2s in here with no microphone trying to join the heist. And I'm not one to judge a book by its cover, but really, what is the chances of a rank 1 being able to make it through a heist finale without dying? Up next is crashing stores. So have you ever been in a store wanting to stock up on snacks, or maybe upgrade your clothing, or just go and check out some of the new outfits that have been added into GT Online, and there was some guy come in and just randomly shoot up the place for no reason, making you not able to use the store. Sometimes they'll go as far as even killing you or robbing the store, but usually they just do this to stop you using them. At the number 3 spot is griefing in passive mode. Now, passive mode griefers come in quite a few different forms. I guess passive mode was introduced as a way players can protect themselves from being griefed, but some players actually like to use passive mode as more of an offensive tool to kill you. In my opinion, the worst passive mode griefers are the ones that will intentionally go after your cargo or go after your import-export vehicles, potentially causing you to lose hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe even over $1 million if you're selling a full cargo load, and then they'll hop back into passive mode so you can't even get revenge on them. This is actually one of the main reasons I never play in busy public sessions, is because you're guaranteed if you do any CEO work in a busy public session, you're going to have a few of these griefers come after you. And there's really no real incentive for people to grief you doing these activities either. You know, destroying your cargo or your import vehicle, they'll only be rewarded with a couple of $1,000s, meaning the only reason they'll be doing this is just to be malicious with it. At the number 2 spot is dirty racing. Now, as someone that likes to do races in GT Online, I'm still surprised at how many people still host jobs with ghost mode disabled, so you're still affected by the impacts of all the other vehicles that are on the race. And I swear, sometimes I feel like the only person in the race that actually wants to have a clean race. Some of the noobs that you'll see in these races are so bad at driving, I feel like they take part in these races not even to have a chance of winning them, but just to knock people off the track and grief other players in this race. They'll spend all of their time in the race trying to block the path, they'll bash other players into the walls, and sometimes try and hold them against the wall so they both end up being in last place. And then there's the stunt races. Quite often I'll have someone slipstream behind me, which really I don't mind if they want to get a quick speed boost and try and catch up to some of the first or second places in the race. However, they'll do this and try and pit maneuver me after getting the speed boost off them, and especially if you're before a ramp or they pit maneuver you off the track, by the time you respawn you lose like 15 seconds and it's very difficult to make it back in the race after this has happened to you. My strategy for races these days tends to be actually to go slow at the start of the race and let all of the noobs fight it out and wait for them to knock each other off of the track before I can safely pass them, because if you get caught up in that bashing fest you're going to have that the whole way around the track and it just makes for a pretty crappy race. I mean, who finds that fun, really? Sometimes it's like playing bumper cars or the dodgems as we say in the UK. And that leaves me with the number 1 spot, which are jet griefers. Now these guys just live off the explosive rounds that the Hydra and the laser have, and I'm not sure the exact purpose of them doing this, but whether it's a bit of a power trip over their lobby or they're liking to improve their sacred KD ratio, but their only method of doing so is the jet. And if you ever manage to actually take them out in the jet, you know, if you have some explosive sniper bullets and you manage to destroy the jet, the first thing they'll do is hop into passive mode until they get their hands on their next jet. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, just a bit of a fun one, not to be taken too seriously. This was 10 things that I've seen noobs do in GTA Online. Let me know in the comments, do you guys agree with my list? Do you have anything extra that you've seen noobs do in GTA Online? Let me know down in the comments. Also, don't forget to leave the video a like if you did enjoy, it really helps support this countdown series, and subscribe so you don't miss out on the next episode. Have a great weekend guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Flipping cars, I live the scene. Flipping heists, yeah, with the team. You know me, got the antidote. I spit it sick up in Los Santos. Dodging missiles, dodging bullets. Coming at me now, tell me